Hey guys, my name is Carter Budens. Appreciate you for tuning in. And today I want to talk about Medicare Advantage plans. There's a lot in the world talking about Medicare Advantage plans. There's a lot of stuff in the news. There's a lot of things I'm sure you've heard about Medicare Advantage. And today I want to simply just go over what is a Medicare Advantage plan? How does it work? What are the pros and cons? What are some common questions that you might have about a Medicare Advantage? And I want to keep this video pretty short and to the point. I see a lot of videos that just go on and on and on for 20, 30, 40 minutes about, certain plans. And it's just way too much information. So hopefully with today's explanation, this is enough. And this is all you need to know, because I think too much information is not helpful. So when we look at a Medicare Advantage plan, you still have to be enrolled in what's known as Part A and Part B, okay? So Part A, hospital, Part B, medical. Part A for most people isn't gonna cost anything. Part B will. The average Part B premium for 2026 is $202.90 a month. So you're gonna have that on a Medicare Advantage. Now, what happens when you elect a Medicare Advantage plan is that Medicare Advantage plan is now the primary insurance. It's no longer Part A and Part B. So Medicare Advantage replaces A and B. And when you replace Medicare Advantage with Part A and Part B, now what you're doing is the insurance company that you're going to elect to go with, whatever that company is, they're now primary. They're now essentially dictating your care in a way. And now you have to abide by their network, right? So no matter what insurance carrier you choose, they're going to have a network of doctors and hospitals and things that you need to stay within. Now, there are HMO and there are PPO options with the Medicare Advantage. And just really quick for those that don't know, HMO, typically a smaller network, you need referrals to see a specialist, right? With a PPO, you do not need a referral to see specialists. Your network's a little bit bigger, and you can go out of network, and it's typically more expensive to go out of network, but you have the ability to do that on a PPO plan. So you have those two options when looking at a Medicare Advantage plan. Now, how I explain Medicare Advantage, it's very similar to the insurance that you probably have had through your work or that you've purchased on your own, right? Where you have a network, you have copays, you have a deductible, you have a max out of pocket, right? So it's very similar structure to what you've had probably, your whole life. Most Medicare Advantage plans, depending on your area, can be about $0 a month for most people, right? The out of pocket, which is the most that you'd spend in a given year for covered services, is anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000. Now, it can be anywhere in the middle. It can even be less depending on your area, but that's a good average of your out of pocket. And as you use it, you're going to have copays and things for doctor visits, specialist, emergency room, hospital, so on and so forth. So you're paying for your care as you go with a Medicare Advantage plan, right? So one of the things that people like with the Medicare Advantage plan is it has a lot of extra things included in the plan that normally you could not have included in your plan, like what you've had through work, for instance. So some of those things are going to be dental, vision, hearing, a prescription drug plan. All of those things are wrapped into one plan. So it can save you on the monthly side, especially if you want some of those extra things, and dental and hearing is important to you. So that's a huge pro for a lot of people. Now, where you hear a lot of cons of Medicare Advantage, or where people argue that they're terrible plans, which I don't agree that they're terrible. But one of those things that you hear is specifically prior authorizations, right? Where in order to get a certain service done, essentially you have to run it through the insurance first for them to approve whatever you're going to have done, right? And so prior authorizations exist on pretty much every insurance, minus Medicare Supplement, which I'll make another video about that. But prior authorizations exist on every insurance plan. So yes, Medicare Advantage does have prior authorizations and things like that. So for some people, it's not a huge deal. For some people, that might have been a pain in the past that they had to go through. Nonetheless, they exist on the Medicare Advantage side. Okay, so that's pretty much the gist of Medicare Advantage. Now, every year you can change your Medicare Advantage plan, and that's known as the annual election period. And that starts October 15th through December 7th. So if you're already on a Medicare Advantage plan, every year during that window, you can choose a new plan that's going to start effective January 1st of the following year. So if something changed with your health, something changed with the plan that you're on and you don't like it, or they're making a lot of changes, you can elect to choose a different plan during that enrollment period. So that's the most common time that you're going to change your Medicare Advantage plan if you choose. So that's the enrollment period. A few quick things, and then I'm going to wrap this video up. So hopefully this was helpful, giving you just like a basic, introduction to Medicare Advantage. Just some of the questions that we get about Medicare Advantage plans, right? So some of the things we get, which I actually already mentioned, was prior authorizations. That's a big one, right? Staying within your network is a big one that we get asked, right? You can't go anywhere that you want. You have to stay within your network, right? One of the other common questions we get is, can you change your plan in the middle of the year, right? And normally, no, you cannot. So there are special enrollments where that might apply to you, but generally, you're with that plan for the rest of the year. Now, we do have another enrollment period, January 1st through March 31st, that you can change. But in the middle of the year, let's say, you are essentially stuck with that Medicare Advantage plan until the first of the year. Medicare Advantage, we get this quite often where people misinterpret Medicare Advantage for Medicare Supplement. So a Medicare Advantage plan is not a supplement. Remember, in the beginning, I said that a Medicare Advantage plan essentially replaces A and B. Although you still need Part A and B active, Medicare Advantage is replacing it, meaning they're becoming your primary insurance. So those are some like super common questions that we get about Medicare Advantage. And so hopefully that helped give just a very brief overview of a Medicare Advantage and what it is. And so if you guys have specific questions, please, comment down below. I'd love to hear your feedback or hear questions that you have. And then I can make some other videos and get those uploaded so that you guys can kind of continue to learn and see what's going to be the best for you. So I hope this helped, this Medicare Advantage talk with you guys. If you guys need help or you have questions, like, I'm a broker, so please reach out. I'd love to help you out or answer questions you have along the way. But comment down below and let me know if there's another topic or anything that you want me to cover next time.